Hello, welcome to the podcast AnonX. Today we're plunging into a deep dive on a gem that has sparkled through history with a truly captivating and, well, some might say terrifying reputation. The Hope Diamond. Is it truly cursed, or is its long trail of misfortune just a series of chilling coincidences woven into its very narrative?
That's really the central question we're tackling, isn't it? We've looked at a fascinating stack of sources, everything from, meticulous historical accounts and rigorous scientific analyses to the enchanting, sometimes chilling, legendary tales surrounding this infamous blue diamond. Our mission today really is to unpack these rich stories, to gently separate documented fact from, let's say, tantalizing folklore, and to see what truly lies beneath its dazzling surface.
Exactly. And what a journey it's been for this stone. You'll hear about kings, queens, socialites, even a humble postman, all kind of inextricably tied to this one extraordinary gem. So before we delve into its dramatic history, what exactly makes this diamond so physically unique beyond its alleged curse? What sets it apart in the world of precious stones?
Yeah, that's a perfect place to start. The Hope Diamond is a truly magnificent specimen. Physically, it's a large, deep blue diamond, currently weighing 45.52 carats, which for context is about 9 grams. Forget the precise millimeters for a moment. Picture something roughly the size of a pigeon's egg or maybe a substantial horse chestnut, with that distinctive pear shape. It's a stone with real presence.
And its color isn't just blue, it's often described in these incredibly evocative ways, like a fancy dark grayish blue or even steely blue. But beyond its sheer beauty, are there other unique properties that truly set the Hope Diamond apart from other famous gems? For those of us maybe less versed in gemology, what's the practical, observable magic behind its unique classification?
Great question. Well, the blue color itself is incredibly rare in natural diamonds, and it comes from trace amounts of boron within its crystal structure, very tiny amounts. But the truly unique feature and what makes it so fascinating to scientists is its strong red phosphorescence.
Phosphorescence. What exactly does that mean?
Think of it this way. Most diamonds are electrical insulators, meaning electricity can't easily pass through them. But the Hope diamond is classified as a type IE diamond, which means it's semiconductive. It can conduct electricity under very specific conditions, almost like a tiny natural circuit board.
Okay.
This property, along with the boron, is precisely what allows it to do that incredible, almost eerie, fiery red glow after being exposed to shortwave ultraviolet light. It doesn't just glow, it emits this vivid red light for several seconds, sometimes even minutes in the dark.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a natural phenomenon that, to the untrained eye, feels almost supernatural. And this unique glow also helps scientists differentiate it from fakes.
So this diamond is literally a billion-year-old piece of Earth's fiery core, brought up volcanically, with a scientific quirk that feels like magic. But its journey from the Earth's depths into human history and into the realm of legend, that's where the story truly becomes captivating. And the very first chapter of that legend begins far away, in India, with a tale that supposedly birthed the infamous curse. Let's unpack this first infamous legend. The story says the diamond, originally a massive 112 and 316 carats in its rough state, was stolen from the eye or forehead of a statue of the Hindu goddess Sita, or in some accounts, Lakshmi's incarnation, at a temple near the Kolarun River.
Right.
And this act of sacrilege supposedly led to a curse on anyone who dared to possess it.
It's certainly a compelling tale, isn't it? One that immediately adds a layer of ancient mystique to the diamond. However, many scholars and historians, they question its authenticity. They point out that the rough diamond's original shape probably wasn't actually suited for a statue's eye. It likely wouldn't have fit properly.
Okay, a practical detail.
Exactly. But regardless of whether the curse is literally true or just a captivating piece of folklore, the historical misfortunes of many of its owners are remarkably well documented. And that is precisely what gives the legend such powerful, enduring traction. The stories stick.
Moving on to its first known European owner, we have Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, a French gem merchant. He acquired this rough diamond from the Kolar mine in Golconda, India, sometime before 1666, and then brought it to Paris in 1668. So according to the curse theory, what happened to him? The whispers claim he was viciously mauled to death by wolves in Russia. A pretty gruesome end.
Yeah, that's the story you often hear, a supposed first victim of the diamond's wrath. The historical record, however, tells a remarkably different story. Tavernier did indeed return to France and sold this enormous diamond, along with many others, to King Louis XIV.
Right.
But far from meeting a gruesome end by wolves, he actually lived until the respectable age of 84, dying quite peacefully in Russia while on a trip.
Really? So no wolves?
No wolves. This is one of the earliest and most significant discrepancies between the sensational curse legend and confirmed historical facts. What's fascinating here is how quickly the narrative around the diamond began to be embellished. It raises an important question right at the start. How much of the curse narrative is an embellishment, perhaps added later to increase the diamond's dramatic appeal and, crucially, its perceived value?
Good point. Drama sells.
It certainly does. This isn't just a story about a diamond. It's a fascinating case study in how legend and perceived value are intricately woven, maybe even manufactured, around luxury items.
After Tavernier, the diamond entered the hands of European royalty, starting with King Louis XIV, who bought it in 1668 for a very significant sum. He had it recut to 67 and 18 carats by his court jeweler, Sieur Pitot, renaming it the Blue Diamond of the Crown, or more famously, the French Blue. It was even set into ceremonial regalia for the prestigious Order of the Golden Fleece. The curse narrative, of course, claims that he died of gangrene shortly after wearing it, and that all his legitimate heirs subsequently perished.
Well, the French blue was certainly a prized part of the French crown jewels. That part is true. It was indeed later passed down to Louis XVI, who had it reset, maintaining its place in the Order of the Golden Fleece. Then it came into the possession of King Louis XVI and his ill-fated queen Marie Antoinette.
Ah, yes. The most famous royal connection.
Exactly. Their tragic end, both guillotined during the tumultuous French Revolution in 1793, is very often cited as major, undeniable evidence for the curse's existence.
But I mean, the French Revolution was a pretty monumental event in itself, right? With or without a diamond involved. Was it the diamond or the revolution that was the real cause of their downfall?
That's a crucial distinction, absolutely. Historical accounts overwhelmingly confirm that their executions were a direct consequence of the revolution and its profound political turmoil, not necessarily a supernatural curse from the diamond itself. In fact, some sources even indicate that Marie Antoinette rarely, if ever, wore the French blue because it was such a powerful symbol of the king's authority and was primarily reserved for him. However, it is true that other figures associated with the diamond during this period also met misfortune, which the curse narrative definitely highlights. For example, Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister, was imprisoned shortly after borrowing it. And Princess de Lamballe, a close confidant of Marie Antoinette, was reportedly brutally killed by a mob after borrowing it, adding a chilling note to the diamond's early royal connections.
Wow, okay, so even if the main royal deaths were revolution-related, there are these other unsettling connections.
Exactly. These events certainly add fuel to the fire of the dramatic narrative surrounding the stone.
So after all that royal drama and the revolution, what happened to the diamond itself? The French glue completely vanished during the chaos. Thieves famously looted the royal treasury in September 1792, and the diamond disappeared for decades, just gone. It must have been quite the puzzle for gem enthusiasts.
Absolutely. It was gone for about 20 years. What's truly captivating here is its eventual reappearance. In 1812, a deep blue diamond weighing between 44 and 45 carats suddenly surfaced in London. It was in the possession of a diamond merchant named Daniel Eliasson.
And it was smaller.
Yes, significantly smaller. While its cut was undeniably different from the French blue, its extreme rarity, that unique blue hue, and its sheer beauty strongly suggested that it was, in fact, the recut French blue.
Ah, so they recut it to hide it.
Very likely. It had probably been altered to disguise its origins and facilitate its secret transport across borders. A true gemological resurrection, you might say.
And it then reportedly made its way into the British monarchy. King George V is said to have acquired it.
That's the story, yes. And after his death in 1830, it was allegedly sold to pay off his absolutely massive debts. So it kept moving between royal hands, or at least powerful ones, but always with this shadow of financial trouble, almost as if his presence heralded some form of personal or financial distress.
The pattern continues.
That perception certainly grew. The first truly confirmed record of the stone, being called the Hope Diamond, dates to 1839. It appeared in the gem collection catalog of a prominent London banker, Henry Philip Hope.
Ah, so that's where the name comes from.
Exactly, from whom it takes its current well-known name. The journey of this diamond is truly a tale of intrigue and reinvention, constantly shifting hands and building its legend with each new owner.
And did the Hope family escape the supposed bad luck?
Well, not entirely, according to the legend. From the Hope family, the diamond continued its dramatic journey, often leaving a trail of supposed misfortune in its wake. Lord Francis Hope, a descendant of Henry Philip Hope, inherited it. But despite its immense value, he faced bankruptcy.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and he was ultimately forced to sell it due to his lavish spending and gambling habits. His wife, Mei Yohei, who reportedly wore it often, also experienced significant hardship after their divorce.
And this is where the curse stories truly become more elaborate and theatrical, right? Cementing its terrifying reputation across continents. We hear tales of Prince Ivan Konatovsky, who supposedly owned it briefly and was killed in a revolt. There's also a Greek merchant, Simon Montherides, who allegedly died with his entire family in a horrific car accident shortly after owning it. These anecdotes certainly fuel the mystique.
They absolutely do. And consider Sultan Abdulhamid II of Turkey, for example. He was later deposed and exiled, earning him the dramatic title, the King Cursed by the Diamond. This wasn't just a personal misfortune. It was an event of grand historical scale, a coup, a changing empire. These are the kinds of grand public tragedies that dramatically amplify the curse narrative.
It makes the story bigger than just one person's bad luck.
Precisely. What's fascinating is how these dramatic events, rather than proving the curse, became fertile ground for its embellishment. Many of these accounts are incredibly dramatic, and some historians strongly suspect they were heavily embellished or even fabricated by later owners or shrewd diamond dealers.
Like Pierre Cartier.
Notably Pierre Cartier, yes. Precisely to increase the diamond's mystique and perceived value, thereby driving up its price. Cartier wasn't simply selling a stone, he was selling an experience, a narrative, turning potential bad luck into an irresistible allure.
That's quite a sales pitch.
It's marketing genius, really. A lesson we still see in play today with other high-value assets, where scarcity and a captivating story create immense demand.
That's a fascinating insight into the commercial side of this myth. And speaking of Pierre Cartier, let's unpack the story of Evelyn Walsh McLean. She is perhaps the most famous and certainly the most public victim of the Hope Diamond's curse in modern times. She was a prominent Washington, D.C. socialite who acquired the diamond from Pierre Cartier in 1911. What stands out to you about her story, especially how she came to own it?
Well, what's truly remarkable here is Pierre Cartier's very deliberate role in all of this. He reportedly leaned into and even exaggerated the curse rumors to entice McLean. He knew his customer.
Really? He used the curse to sell it?
Yes. Ironically, Evelyn Walsh McLean held this unique belief that bad luck charms actually brought her good fortune. So the stories of misfortune were a powerful selling point for her.
Wow, okay. That's unexpected.
It really is. She was incredibly flamboyant in her ownership and wore the diamond almost constantly. She even apparently attached it to her dog's collar sometimes or wore it during surgery. She truly embraced the gem, almost daring the curse to stray.
Get out. On her dog. Okay, but despite her unusual belief that it would bring her good luck, her life was indeed marked by a series of profound tragedies, wasn't it?
Sadly, yes. Her 9-year-old son was killed in a car accident. Her daughter tragically committed suicide at 25.
Oh, that's awful.
And her husband was declared insane before dying in a mental institution. She herself eventually died in financial ruin in 1947, owing significant debts. This relentless string of personal catastrophes, though possibly coincidental, absolutely cemented her as the poster child for the Hope Diamond's alleged curse.
You can only imagine the whispers that must have followed this stone through the opulent halls of her social life. It's just one tragedy after another.
It truly seems like the curse had found its ultimate stage with her, a very public stage.
But then, a new chapter began, one that would dramatically challenge that very notion of persistent misfortune. After McLean's death, the New York jeweler Harry Winston purchased her entire jewelry collection, including the Hope Diamond, in 1949. He then did something truly remarkable, almost unthinkable for such a valuable and infamous gem, especially given its history of alleged misfortune.
Indeed. He held on to it for a while, exhibited it even, but then in 1958 he donated it to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
He just gave it away.
He did. And what's particularly memorable and almost audacious about this act is how he sent it. Via registered U.S. mail in a plain brown package insured for $1 million back then.
He mailed the Hope Diamond.
He mailed the Hope Diamond. This move wasn't just about donating. It was partly a calculated act to inspire other philanthropists to donate to the National Collection. A grand public gesture.
Incredible. And the curse, if it truly exists, allegedly had one last hurrah with the very delivery of the diamond, right? The poor postman.
Ah, yes. James Todd, the postman who delivered the diamond. Reportedly, soon after, he suffered a truck accident, then a separate head injury, and to top it all off, His home tragically burned down.
Oh my goodness. That's quite the series of events for a delivery driver. Makes you wonder if the curse was making one final desperate lunge.
It certainly adds another layer to the legend, doesn't it? However, the Smithsonian itself, which has been the proud and very public owner of the diamond since 1958, states unequivocally that it appears to have maintained the hope curse-free.
So, no major disasters at the museum linked to it.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Far from bringing misfortune, the Hope Diamond has become its premier and most visited attraction, drawing millions of visitors each year. It generates significant interest and donations for the museum. It's almost as if the diamond finally found a place where its beauty could simply be admired, free from the human drama it once seemed to incite.
So what does this all mean for the legend, then? The diamond has been displayed at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History for decades, attracting millions of visitors from all over the world. Does its long, seemingly peaceful stay there without any major catastrophe befalling the institution or its staff mean the curse has finally been broken? Or maybe was it just a powerful, captivating legend all along?
Well, this raises an important question. Is it truly a curse, or is it simply a classic case of confirmation bias? In other words, when misfortunes occur, and let's face it, misfortune happens in life, they're far more memorable and dramatically amplified when they can be associated with such a sensational story like this diamond's.
You remember the bad stuff linked to the shiny, cursed object?
Exactly. While it's true that many owners face tragic fates, scholars and historians consistently point out that some, like Jean-Baptiste Tavernier, King Louis XIV, and even Pierre Cartier, lived long, successful, and relatively peaceful lives after possessing it. The curse was often exaggerated or even fabricated by writers and diamond dealers precisely to increase its mystique and, quite pragmatically, its market value. It was brilliant marketing long before the term existed.
Right, back to the selling point. And even that famous strong red phosphorescence, which some people link to its fiery, perilous nature and the idea of a lurking evil, that's just science.
That's just science. It has a perfectly rational explanation. It's simply due to the interaction of trace amounts of boron and other impurities within the diamond's crystal structure when exposed to UV light. It's a natural phenomenon, a beautiful scientific quirk, not a supernatural one. It brings it firmly back into the realm of geological marvels.
So less curse, more cool science trick.
Pretty much. It reminds us just how powerful stories can be, though, shaping our perception of objects and even historical events. It's not just a stone of immense beauty and value, it's a living piece of history, with a narrative that continues to intrigue and spark our imaginations, inviting us to look beyond the surface.
The Hope Diamond is, without a doubt, a truly astonishing gem. It's a piece of Earth's deep history that has witnessed centuries of human drama, ambition, and indeed, a notable share of misfortune. Whether you choose to believe in the legendary curse or simply see it as a captivating narrative woven through history, its sheer allure and mystique are undeniably powerful.
Absolutely. It's a conversation starter, if nothing else.
Definitely. So knowing everything we've discussed today, its dazzling features, its incredible journey through royal courts and personal tragedies, and the various scientific and folkloric theories about its supposed curse, would you dare to own the Hope Diamond?
That's the question, isn't it?
Something to think about. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.